5 former Memphis police officers have just been charged with kidnapping and murder.
The DA said that while each officer played a different role, all of their actions resulted in a man's death.
On January 7th, police pulled over Tyre Nichols on suspicion of reckless driving. He took off running and a confrontation occurred. Nichols died 3 days later, and his family says the video of that arrest will show a savage beating reminiscent of the infamous Rodney King video from 32 years ago.
The 5 former officers who arrested Nichols were fired for violating policies on excessive force, duty to intervene, and duty to render aid. The city of Memphis just announced plans to release video of Nichols' arrest about 24 hours from now, tomorrow at 6 p.m.
5 cops, 1 man, and they tased him to death, essentially. Yeah, man, I think people like this should be locked up forever. Because somehow, in the midst of you supposed to be doing your job, you ended up deciding that this person is no longer a human being and they don't deserve the due process of the law. They don't deserve to make it to a jail cell so that they can be seen by a judge. You don't think that this person deserves an opportunity to fight against what is currently happening to them. You don't believe in the law. You don't believe in law and order. You don't believe in justice and due process. You don't believe in none of that shit. Mm-hmm. What you believe is you are part of the ruling class now that you've gotten your position as a police officer. And somehow that separates you from your blackness. So when you see another black person walking about who's not complying or who's not giving you the just respect that you feel like you should be getting, you brutalize them. The way that you see your white counterparts brutalize people because you're not black anymore. You're a cop. Mm-hmm. You're a cop. Yep. I'm not black anymore. I'm a police officer. I'm not even a black police officer. I'm just a police officer.
And I don't see any humanity in my fellow black man.
Much like my white counterparts here at this job do. Mm-hmm. It's when you start getting into these echo chambers of thought, how you start adopting the same mentalities.
Oh, yeah. You know, that definitely goes into, obviously, that blue line. And it obviously speaks to the fact that, you know, there's something in how these cops are trained to look at individuals. And for whatever reason, black people are targeted as less than human or as excessively criminal in some cases. And that, like I said, that goes back to some sort of training that these people are receiving, I would think.
I don't know if it's training, man. I just think people wield...
Or the culture that's been built around being a cop.
People wield autonomous power like tyrants. That's human nature. When you give people the ultimate deference, when you give them the ultimate power to move at their discretion, they will abuse it. Mm-hmm. There's never been a time where someone has had total autonomy in their position and didn't abuse it. Mm-hmm. Or maybe not on an individual level, let me fix what I'm saying. But structurally, institutionally, there has never been an opportunity for someone to take advantage of said institution that wasn't taken. Memphis, Southern California, Columbus, Ohio, Louisiana, Atlanta, Georgia, Texas. It doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter. The place, the area, the perceived attitude or social makeup of the area, it does not matter. The key through line wherever you go in this country is that black people are lesser and they should be treated lesser. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's it. Period. Don't try to argue me otherwise because you just don't see this type of shit happening to white people.
Right.
You don't. At least not at the rate. Yeah. At least not at a rate that can convince you that this is a problem across the board.
Yeah. Yep. I'm sure we're probably going to get some people in the comments who are going to try to make the argument.
Man, y'all love to come in here with some of y'all white supremacist takes too.
Facts.
And let me tell you unequivocally right now so that there's no misunderstanding. You niggas can eat a dick until the cows come home. Don't come in over here talking about what black men do, what black women do, blah, blah, blah. You're race baiting. Find another channel.
Black lives clearly don't matter because look at what's happening here.
Go take that I can't even say it self-loathing black person because I know that most of the time the people are hopping into black racial issues with these profiles. They don't have a face on them. They're not really black people. Mm-hmm. If they're real people at all.
Yeah.
It's the one thing that I be seeing on Twitter. Is like, I am not arguing with Twitter bots anymore. The minute that Elon Musk leaked the fact that close to half of the accounts on Twitter are fake or ran by machines or algorithms, I immediately thought, oh, I'm never going to argue with another person on Twitter again. Unless I can clearly see that that person is someone that I can verify as a real person. I'm not just about to be out here arguing with folks on Twitter about anything.
Yeah.
Gender wars, diaspora wars, recast the child. I'm not arguing with y'all no more because it is always, and I mean always, the people that come out and cry misogyny, the people that come out and cry, misogynoir and all that other stuff, it be a fucking cat in the goddamn profile picture or a picture of Letitia Wright or some shit like that. They got 50 followers and they're following 1,500 people. You're not a real person. Black women, picture of Captain Crunch following 5,600 followers. You're not a real person.
Yeah. It's amazing what they can teach these AI,
to do, how to argue, what to say. But they're only picking up on the arguments that they already see in the zeitgeist. So it's not all that creative, but it's like it takes 30 seconds to just look. Just pay attention.
I think they shut down like Microsoft's AI bot after like a day because it had learned so much anti-Semitism. That happened some years ago, but it was something crazy like that. Like it allowed you to put in a prompt to it or whatever, and so many people had taught it just the most fucked up shit that they had to shut it down.
Jesus Christ. After.
Yeah, crazy shit. But this situation is just it's all the same with all the other ones that we've kind of reviewed, and it really doesn't make any difference that we're talking about 5 black officers. The name of the game is just that it's cops. For whatever reason, like you said, abusing their power and using excessive force against black people.
Just trying to tell y'all, man, well, never mind, let me not say that. I would just say that a common theme that I've seen in probation officers and newly minted detective, or not detective, excuse me, what's the entry level for a police department? Like officers or whatever. Deputies, there you go, newly minted deputies. Is that there seems to be this common thread of young men or young women who were ostracized in some way in their youth, who had a lack of perceived control over the things that happened to them in school or growing up and all those kind of things. And so now they live that control or they live that autonomy vicariously through their new job. And so you see it manifest like, yo, you was the guy that was getting bullied before, not necessarily the guy doing the bullying, Yeah. And it makes so much sense when you see these instances where there's this gang full of cops and there's one assailant and yet they end up dead. And the common excuse is what? Oh, well, we were protecting ourselves. We fear for our lives. We need to use that force to ensure that everybody got to go home safely. So it's like this connection, at least for the black ones. The white boys is total utter bullshit. Mm-hmm. But I can see a through line for black cops to be like, the only way for me to protect myself from what I'm accustomed to, being berated and picked on and bullied and stuff like that, is to exert the same level of force and violence upon the people that I deem would do me harm. Mm-hmm. It's just unfortunate that the people that you deem would do you harm are black people.
Yeah. Yep. It's unfortunate, but it's something that's still going to have to get corrected at some level, and it's just tough to kind of find where you correct that sort of thing at. But I'm sure we'll figure it out at some point.
Could defund the police, but it's a whole nother conversation.
Facts. Any other thoughts on this situation at all?
That's it for me. Give us your thoughts on the Tyre Nichols situation in the prompt below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and come back to us. We typically pick up on, police brutality pretty readily. So check us out. Stay tuned in.
Yeah, in the last video where we kind of discussed something at least similar to this, we discussed a 13-year-old boy who was murdered by a white man in self-defense. Feel free to go ahead and check out that video here. And also make sure you subscribe anytime we get any kind of stories similar to this one. We'll be sure to discuss it.